episode 3 of the bonus stage. We're your hosts. I'm Jeff Ward.
I'm Tom Higgins. You might notice something a little different quickly. We've got headphones on now, as you can see. Jeff's modeling his very nicely. The audio coming from the microphone that comes straight out of the tape is a little crappy, so we've switched to a new system. We're recording it through our laptops, and we just sync it up afterwards.
Yeah, it'll sound a lot better. There'll be less background noise. Hopefully when you're listening to this, it's actually going to sound good, because if this audio craps out, we're going to have to go with Plan B, which is the audio you've been hearing for the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So hopefully it all works out and it sounds good.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Today on the show, it is Friday the 13th, so it could end up really bad.
Everything's going to blow up on our face.
Yeah, bad pizza, bad... Well, actually, that's it.
Yeah.
That's really it. Pretty good day,
Pizza's
actually.
huge. So.
True. I had a test today, so that kind of sucks. Today on the show, we're going to look at the Fallout 3 DLC for the Xbox 360. We're going to take a look at Archibalds Adventure for the iPhone.
Battlefield 1943.
Yep.
I cannot wait for this.
Brand new trailer we're going to talk about, and also the newly announced...
Bad Company 2.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And we're also going to talk about a trailer that was actually just released tonight, the Resident Evil 5 trailer for 2009. Looks ridiculous, but we'll save that for later. Starting things off, we're going to talk about the Fallout 3 DLC for the Xbox 360. This DLC came out in January.
Yeah. It's
part of 3 separate DLC packages that are going to come out in the next 3 months.
The Pit and Broken Steel are the next 2, in that order.
This one costs 800 points, so that's $10, right?
Yeah, that's $10
equivalent to. It's called Operation Anchorage, and basically what happens is, right out of the vault, for those of you who aren't familiar with Fallout 3, right out of the vault, this quest becomes available via your radio, and basically what happens is you go down to a section of the map. It's called Bailey's Crossroads, and you meet a bunch of Brotherhood of Steel outcasts.
Guys in the red armor with the rust on them.
Yeah, who are very disgruntled towards you through the entirety of the game.
Yes,
They
especially if
hate
you're wearing
your
their
guts.
armor.
Yeah, they don't fight you, though, which is good, because a lot of them are pretty tough, and they usually travel in packs.
Yes.
So basically, they basically tell you that your Pip-Boy, the computer on your arm, is the only way to unlock this door that they've been trying to get all these artifacts from this underground, basically military complex type of thing.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's a bunker, essentially.
Yeah. So you basically, unless you're stupid or something, you agree to do this quest, and they take you into this underground place, and they set you up in this military simulation. And you sit in this little pod, and you basically just go into a simulation. So right off the bat, I felt like I was kind of ripped off, because it really didn't add anything to the Fallout 3 map.
Yeah, it just adds one tiny little location.
Yeah, and then that location turns into basically a simulation. It's kind of a cop-out, but, the game, it still plays really well.
Yeah.
So basically, you're in Anchorage, Alaska, as the Chinese are invading the United States. And the tone is kind of set previous in another simulation part of the game. I can't remember what vault that is, where you have to go find your dad in the simulation. And you're in, that little nuclear town
Vault
or whatever.
87 or something like that?
Yeah, so basically there's, a fail-safe where all these Chinese come in and they, raid the place, and that's how you end up getting out part of the storyline. But, so, Chinese are invading Anchorage, Alaska, and you have to...
By the way, this is just at the start of the war.
Yeah.
It's...
2077.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to aid the outcasts, as it's called, and it's actually really fun. You start off, and you're thrown right into it. You, parachute onto the side of this cliff, and you're walking through, and there's one guy that's with you, and he just, he fucks off right away.
Yeah.
And you're, left alone, and it sucks. It's oh, man, I'm just done here. Because, first of all, not only the fact is, if you die, you're actually dead. You can't go back. You have to start back from the beginning. Which they tell you, military simulation, they kind of, try to pull it off as, a Matrix thing. If you die in the simulation, you die in real life.
Yeah.
So, that kind of sucks.
They touch on that topic, actually, in Vault 87 with Stanislaus Brown.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's the military operations. You can actually find info about it inside if you find the failsafe terminal, which is in the abandoned house if you look for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little key sequence you got to break through.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little noises on all these things that you can interact with. Kind of a pain in the ass, but also kind of cool.
But if you do that section, it gives you some background on the military programs.
Yeah.
And I believe the guy they're talking about, or the guy who's sending the emails to Brown during this event, he's actually the general who's alive during the Operation Alaska section.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. And so basically, you end up meeting him eventually later on in the DLC. You meet him in the complex, and you're going through and you destroy these and I mean massive, huge guns just like strapped to the side of the mountain. You basically, it's kind of stupid because you plant one charge in the back. It's like the weak point,
Yeah.
and it's not located underneath or inside.
It's the
of
generic video game weak point.
It's like just on the back. And there's very little resistance. And like my character was already level 20 when I did this, which is the level cap, so
For now, until Broken Steel.
that's true. And the
to
level
level
cap
30.
will go to 30, which is pretty cool. So I'm really excited for that. However, with the level cap being the way it is, they kind of like they bump all the enemies up to your level, so it's still a challenge even if you're facing off against enemies who, previous, are kind of weaker than you.
Yeah.
It really all depends on what kind of guns you have. You can blow away anybody if you got the right gun.
Oh, yes.
So you go and you blow up all these all these big guns, and then it goes to the second mission, which is actually the coolest part of this whole thing. Basically, what happens is you get put into this battle situation scenario, you get promoted within the simulation to be like a commander type of thing, and you get to choose between a bunch of different squad mates for a sort of a squad-based rush of a bunch of different places that you have to complete objectives at, so that you can unlock the big pulse field, and then you can go through and ransack their last base
Yeah.
and kill this guy named Jing Wei, who is the Chinese leader. Yeah.
Yeah, he's leading the assault in Alaska. At least in this section.
So you go through all this stuff, and that part's really cool because you can choose between robots, you can choose between snipers, you can choose between grenadiers, you can choose between assault guys, and like recon guys, and it's really cool because you can sort of strategically plan based on the intel that the guys give you prior to the mission. You can strategically plan how to go about doing the mission if you want to really scope it out first, and you basically issue commands to the squad leader, who is your buddy from the previous mission, and he then tells the squad what to do based on that. So you don't really have to do much interaction with the squad.
Yeah, it's pseudo-squad based.
Yeah, but it works really well. It's really fun to play, and then you also get a bunch of different weapon packs, and they're like assault, heavy gunner, and I think there's like close combat, which is like a shotgun and stuff. It's really fun. So after that, you unlock the the archives, excuse me, and you get a bunch of different guns that are all only available through the DLC, and then a bunch of also guns that are just available in game, but these are like much better condition and have better value. The best one in there is called the Gauss rifle. Am I pronouncing that right? I always pronounce that wrong. Gauss rifle is basically this, and it's huge. It takes up a lot of the screen when you're holding it. Yeah, it runs on microfusion cells, and it's like a sniper rifle. Pretty sure it's got increased zoom capabilities because it looks like it gets a lot farther in, and it shoots out this massive pulse that basically, if it hits anybody, if it doesn't just turn them into body chunks, it'll knock them on their ass, and then you can go up for the kill as they're knocked down. Fantastic gun. Damage is like 78 or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's beast.
And there's also a couple of, I guess they're just like unique items that, really aren't that good. Like the trench knife is just a different combat knife. It's just worth a little bit more. Jingwei's got this shock sword that you get to take out of, which is basically a sword that's just like covered in electricity.
Thing.
Yeah, so you go up. It drains your health just like the flamers do.
Yeah.
But you get to go and just slash a guy, and he goes, and he gets shocked, and then you can basically gun them down as they're all, screwed up. The best armor you get is the power armor, the T-51B, the winterized power armor and power helmet. They come completely, 100% condition, and they're worth, almost one cap, less than 1,000 each.
Yeah.
They're fantastic armor.
My big question, though, is why is all this stuff in a vault in the capital wasteland? Why wouldn't it be in a vault in Alaska? Or somewhere more strategic with, military importance?
Yeah, it's kind of weird geographically speaking. However, they kind of allude to the fact that, map-wise, they're, on opposite ends of the country, but basically this is just a military simulation to train people on the Chinese invasion of 2077.
Chinese tactics.
Yeah, so, it's a really... here's the thing. If you're not a big fan of Fallout 3 and you just played through it and you're like, okay, the game's over now, and you didn't really play much after that, don't buy this, because you're not going to enjoy it.
It only gives you maybe, 4 hours? If you stretch it?
Yeah, I stretched it, and I, pretty much explored every single possible alcove. I only didn't